Welcome back to Harriet Hacks.
Hello.
I'm joined by Tania.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
She also hacks. So for any
Allegedly.
of my regular viewers, maybe the 5 of you, including my parents, who actually tune in regularly, I haven't posted in a while, and that's because we've been doing a podcast instead, which is on Spotify and about to be on Apple Play. So if you want to hear more about AI hacking, but even better because it'll be with Tania, please head over to the podcast instead. I'm going to pop the link below. And yeah, maybe I'll shoot some other YouTube videos again soon. It's kind of hard, like having to put makeup on and all that kind of stuff. And it's the AI hacking that's important, right? Yeah.
Plus
Okay.
the fun stories, but
Yeah. We've had some fun anecdotes. We've talked about our time at DEF CON in the States, and then all about, obviously, AI security and what we're doing day to day.
But yeah, see you guys there.
See you there. Harriet Hacks. Testing, and it's all meant to be candid. So
That's true.
So how are you going today, Tania?
I'm going good. How are you, Harriet?
I'm good. A little bit tired, but good. You're the one who's moving this week. So.
Yeah. Exciting things.
Yeah, cool.
So
Okay,
AI.
AI security. All right. So for the listeners, to break the fourth wall. So this is the first recording of this podcast, and will hopefully not be the last. So we work together at Maleva Security Labs, an AI security company, and I've been wanting to make a podcast for a really long time, and I recorded a number of episode 1s by myself and listened and watched them back, and they were just dreadful and made me want to cry.
And now I'm here, so somehow that's going to make
goodness.
it all much better.
It's already 10 times better than if I by
sure.
myself. Yeah, Tania started with Maleva last week and got roped into this, unfortunately.
I know, now you got to listen to my voice.
So we've worked together for a while, but we're also still getting to know each other. So I think along this podcast journey, all the listeners will also be able to go along many journeys, not just in AI security and learning more about it, which is the focus of the podcast, but also, as we learn more about each other, the audience will too, possibly too much, but only speaking for myself. And the company journey, we're pretty early on at Maleva, so hopefully it only gets bigger and better, but that'll be a journey that everyone will get to see as well.
No, how cool.
Yeah, it should be cool. So yeah, tell me what you've been up to the last couple of weeks, Tania.
Yeah, so I started 2 weeks ago, mate. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
It hasn't been 2 weeks, has it?
Yeah, a week and a half.
Week and
Does
a
it already
half.
feel like it's been dragging?
No,
so long?
it's just, I feel like a lot. So for context, we're currently in Canberra, but this time last week, we were in Sydney.
Yeah.
And I think since then you've been to Melbourne.
Yes.
It's just a lot's happened in such a short period of time.
That's right. Yeah. It's been a week and a half. That's I think that's going to be the pattern for what it's like for the rest of the year or so.
Yeah, this podcast is going to go on and Harriet's going to be like, I'm in Hawaii. Where are you, Tania?
We'll
in
both
Sydney.
be in Hawaii. Yeah, for the listeners, we have some great trips coming up. Are you excited for the United States, Tania?
I'm so excited. I've never been. And I've never been to a hacker conference, so that's going to be very new to me.
I'm so excited. I went for the first time last year to Hacker Summer Camp, which for the listeners is the trifecta of B-Sides, DEF CON and Black Hat. And it was so fun. It was such a bucket list item, but I did it so poorly. I was so tired and overwhelmed the whole time. There were actually 2 days where for lunch I bought a CVS sandwich and I just needed some me time, so I literally ate it in the bathroom. I went into a stall and ate my sandwich in a stall in a cubicle. It was really giving Mean Girls, when she sits in the cubicle with a sandwich.
Oh no, I hope that's not me.
No, it won't be because now we're together. So
True. We can
gonna be
both
real
eat
good.
sandwiches sadly in a corner together.
Yeah. Not sadly, probably happily, but
Yeah.
no,
Manifesting good things.
it'll be good. You'll learn from all the ways that I did it incorrectly.
Yeah. So like, because I've never been to like a cyber conference. What do you what is cybersecurity? What do you expect to see there?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Obviously, this is only the second year I've been to, say, DEF CON and Black Hat and B-Sides in Las Vegas, but I think maybe in 2021 I started going to hacker conferences, and I was just blown away by the community. Everyone is so friendly and welcoming and keen to exchange ideas.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I think the really cool thing about the hacker community as well is that it's really starting to embrace AI security as part of cybersecurity, which is especially relevant for the podcast. Maybe that's a little bit of a segue into how we got into AI security. Yeah, because my story definitely sort of started, I think, with going to some of the hacker conferences, actually. Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to go first? Yeah.
All right. Okay.
If you
insist.
So go on, Harriet. Tell us about your life.
It's not like it's the Harriet Hacks podcast or anything.
Yeah. Whatever.
We're going to work on the name, listeners. We're still figuring out what it's going to be called. But yeah, I guess to add some maybe structure to this first episode, the podcast is going to focus on AI security, but today we'll cover sort of how we both got into AI security. And for me, I think it's interesting because speaking of the conferences, when I started going to these conferences in 2021, I was sort of working in a cyber role, but I just started my PhD in adversarial machine learning, which is, I guess, the offensive side of AI security. And I started going to these conferences, and I went because I loved the community and the hacker spirit and the vibe, but I was often the only AI person there. It was very much cybersecurity people. People were starting to talk about AI because AI has been very like hypey and buzzy for a long time. But AI security and like the idea that you could actually hack an AI system the same way you could hack a cyber system was really not something that people talked about at all. And so going through that journey of like learning more about it in my PhD and starting to work in it as I do now has been really interesting because I've also seen that entire community kind of emerge and evolve around it too. But I guess I was sort of lucky because I like worked as a data scientist for a while, ended up in cybersecurity teams. Part of that experience was in like depressing consulting jobs. I shouldn't say depressing every time I talk about that.
Consulting.
I think anyone can figure out where I
There's
worked.
a time and there's a role for consulting in our lives, but
There
maybe
is.
not for me personally. I don't know. Haven't tried it. Maybe I'll try it one day, but you're not really selling me on it.
Oh, look, it was fine. It was full of ups and downs.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it was it was fine. The company was fine. The people I worked with were amazing. But it really depended what project you're on.
That's true.
But I was lucky to get put on some like interesting projects, data AI projects in defense mainly.
Yes.
And then I worked overseas for a little while, and that's where I got into cyber. And then I came back during COVID and ended up in the government, which is where I sort of ended up doing my PhD alongside that role and getting into AML.
Yeah.
And then a year ago started Maleva. So
Exciting.
yeah, it's been a wild ride, but it's been interesting being in this field and seeing the community change so much so quickly.
Yeah, like in the last 4 years, so much has changed, hey?
Yeah,
That's like even longer, but like
absolutely.
particularly in the last year even, with like the emergence of large language models.
Yeah, and I'm a little older than you, Tanya, so I remember back when.
Okay.
I mean, that's not a slay. Back before the current AI hype cycle, like I remember sort of 2012, 2013, when I was at university, and AI was very much just very like it was algorithms, you know, and definitely not the large language models we see today. And now a message from our sponsor, Maleva Security Labs.
Wow, what's Maleva Security Labs?
Maleva Security Labs is a really cool AI security company. They have training, advisory, and soon coming a software tool that helps organizations manage and mitigate their own AI risk.
Damn, Harriet. It's almost as if you run this company.
What? Me? Maybe. Well, I guess Maleva is supporting me / us to be here. So, thanks Maleva.
Thanks, Maleva.
So that's maybe a good place for you to tell us how you got into it, Tania.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting that you talk about a lot of your cyber experiences, because I would say I come from a mainly data perspective. So my undergraduate was in like statistics and computer science, and then working in defense, learning about the cyber world, like that kind of made me think about like, okay, we have these like really cool autonomous or like automatic machine learning methods. Like how can they go wrong? And that was like a really interesting tangent to go down. So yeah, as I'm exploring more and more about the cyber world, like it's just kind of cool, and kind of people you meet, stuff like that.
What have you found the people in the community like?
I think it's like, okay, I don't know if you notice the same thing, but it's really cool when you have like this system and you have a group of people trying to figure out how it works, and you kind of see the twinkle in everyone's eyes of like as they're like working backwards. And I like love to be in that like environment. It's just very collaborative, like at least the ones I've been in. They're very collaborative and like, I don't know, like cool, I guess.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And yeah, I'm sure that especially as we go to the US and as we start to get even more involved with the community, is to talk about AI security and all of its intersections, so AI and security, in maybe a way that we haven't seen in other podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, I think most of the other podcasts I listen to, like, they're really fantastic. Like, I can think of a number of really good AI and security podcasts that I try and listen to every day because the content is just fantastic and so informative, but, like maybe doesn't reflect our experience in the field.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of the AI podcasts that I listen to have been like focused on like the big companies or on like the technical side, and there's nothing really in between. So it'd be keen to like take different lens on like AI issues, AI security issues. A lot to explore.
Yeah, definitely. Something that we talked about doing for the podcast was things like themed cocktails. So that's the kind of podcast we have in mind, listeners, to put that in perspective. So yeah, we'll be bringing the AI security, but with a side of margarita.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, we need to do that next time.
We should maybe we should get like different language models to come up with the recipe.
That's a really good idea.
Also, I feel like this is often like all like the AI deception papers always use this as an example of like how to poison people. I don't know if you've come across those papers of like generate a cocktail recipe for me.
Sorry, listeners, that was the light going off and me spilling my water, trying to turn it back on. Let me just wave around a little bit. It's okay.
No. Like one of the examples was like looking at like how AI isn't a good source of information sometimes, and the example is like an example of a cocktail where like the ingredients are just out of proportion and wrong. So there is that risk of us drinking something really bad.
Yeah,
it's a risk I'm willing to take if you are, Harriet.
Ooh, if there's just too much vodka in that cocktail and not enough cranberry juice, I don't know, that could be really risky for everyone who has to listen to it.
That's true. But then we can blame it on AI.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. For reference, when Tania and I were talking about Tania joining Maleva, I think one of the moments when you considered that you actually did want to come over is when I talked about having team meetings at cocktail bars. Yeah.
I'm still going to hold you to that, Harriet. I want my team stand up.
We actually haven't done that yet, though. But we did go for drinks last week.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about work, so I actually think maybe that's even better.
Yeah, that's probably...
Yeah, and unfortunately we can't really do the podcast at cocktail bars because the audio wouldn't really be good enough.
I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. But maybe you're right.
Yeah. Maybe a way to sort of something to touch on in the first episode, because we haven't really explained what AI security is.
Yeah, fair.
Maybe something you wish that people knew when it comes to this field, or talking about AI risks from a security perspective. So I'm conscious there might be a lot of listeners who are interested in AI.
Yeah.
As in, like, the two listeners who end up listening to this.
Me
like,
and you?
I'm sure my mum would listen to this too.
Hello.
Hi, Mum. Where was I going with that?
Yeah, no, you're talking about what do you wish listeners would know about AI
Yeah, because they
security?
might not know much
No,
about
that's
this
fair.
field or those sorts of terms. Yeah.
Yeah, I can go first.
Yeah, go first.
So I think the term AI is like really broad, and everyone has such a different take on it. And if I had like a one-liner, like what I wish people knew about AI security is that AI security isn't just about like the chat GPTs and the large language models and like these generative AI models, the frontier models, some people call them. It's about like all forms of like AI, and AI is quite broad. It includes like very simple decision-making things to like things that we've been using a lot, like probably like the Touch ID on our phones, not to bring it back to Apple. This is not an Apple.
We're not sponsored by Apple.
We're not sponsored. But if
they
Apple,
want to, we would consider it. Yeah.
But like all of the tools we've kind of have been using even before this massive boom in like large language models, that is under the bucket of AI. Many like people call it machine learning, which I think sometimes gets lost in translation depending on which audience you're talking to. But yeah, I guess that's my like.
I love that. I think that's really great. I have this joke that I always pull out, and I apologize because Mum might be listening to this, but I always used to joke that when I first told Mum that I worked in AI, she said, "Oh, darling, what are you doing working in artificial insemination?"
Oh.
Because Mum comes from medical field.
I see.
And that's what AI was to her. And, you know, we take it
Right.
for granted that AI is artificial intelligence. And these days, most people know we're talking to that. But I think everyone, when they hear that term, has a slightly different idea in their mind of what AI is.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to its risks. I think the one thing I wish that people would know about AI is that most of the risks we see in the media are risks around how AI could be misused and, you know, like create a cocktail recipe that makes us extremely drunk. But I guess the premise of the kind of work that we're doing is really that AI is itself a system that can be hacked or attacked by, you know, an AI system or a human, or, you know, and in cybersecurity language that's called an attack surface. And a lot of AI people actually don't know this. That's why, you know, I started the company. I worked as a data scientist for a long time, and we were just never taught that there could be risks to AI systems that are security related. It was always bias as a potential risk, but we often focused on just accuracy and efficiency, and that was it. So I hope that people are becoming more aware of AI risks, but I think it's important that we, you know, consider the security of AI systems too. We also want to support some other really cool companies doing work in this space. These companies don't pay us to have an ad here, but they are run by amazing people with visions and are making the world a better place. So we want to support them by having a quick note here.
Did you know that 99% of all cyber attacks are a result of human error? Our people can be our biggest cyber risk, but they can also be our strongest cyber defense. At Cyber, that's PSYBER, that's our mission. We don't believe in boring tick-the-box training. We believe in engaging, innovative cybersecurity awareness for all businesses, regardless of your shape or size. Whether it be our e-learning programs or our in-person workshops, we're making cybersecurity accessible. Visit www.psyber.com.au for more information.
If anyone else wants to add an ad here and give us some money, or like even just something for free, we'll take it. Message us on the email in the description box.
Okay, given that we're talking about AI security, what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite? AI security hack.
A favorite AI security hack. Oh, I feel very on the spot.
Real noise.
Mm.
They just put like a sticker, like it was an apple, and then they put a sticker saying iPod on the front of it, and it misclassified
Yeah.
as an iPod, and that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
So,
it's. I think the image-based ones, and like another myth in AI security is that these attacks only work on images.
Yeah.
But the same methods can be applied to all sorts of data, like audio data, signals data, RF data.
Yeah.
But the images, I think, really strike people because you can see it. Like, you can see that image is a panda, and somehow the model still misclassifies it as a given. So we're referencing the OG sort of AML attack from 2013.
Yeah. The law, the AML law.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a good sort of intro.
Yeah.
The
Insert
first episode.
outro.
Yeah, outro. Do we want to include an AI joke?
I mean, only if you go first, because I need time to think about it.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT, actually. So there might be some people here who are here because of my YouTube channel. If you've watched any of those, I deeply apologise.
No, what do you mean?
They're really, look, we all need to start somewhere. But at the end of all of my first videos, I included an AI joke of the week.
I see.
Because in an alternate universe, I'm a comedian. Like, I love watching stand-up. I would love to do some sort of stand-up one day. And I'm not very funny, like the AI, artificial insemination. Well, that's the only joke I have. I've already exhausted all of my AI jokes.
No.
Maybe a different podcast. It could be like AI themed stand up.
Yeah.
Both of us though.
I feel like we can
Yeah.
If not us, an AI version of us that we say is funnier than we actually are.
Yeah. Because I think the thing about a lot of the jokes is that. So that AI joke, for example.
Oh man! Sorry, we're just reading the screen.
Okay, I'll ask you. Okay, why was the neural network so good at predicting the future?
Why, Harriet?
Because it had so many hidden layers. Edit in laughter sound.
Yeah.
These jokes just doesn't really get it. I don't know.
Out on much. Not to be mean to ChatGPT. Please don't hold a grudge against me.
This is better than the jokes it used to give me before, though. So I think it's improving. Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, okay. We have exciting things coming up for the next episode.
Yeah.
We're going to talk through some AI security things that we're seeing in the real world.
Yeah.
Probably have a cocktail.
Probably or will.
I think will.
Yeah. Okay.
Tania's like, this is why I'm here. We haven't had this cocktail meeting yet.
Yeah.
Yes, well, they're on the company.
Yeah.
Slash my bank account. And yeah, we'll have some possibly funnier AI jokes.
Yeah.
And
then delving into the world of AI security.
That's right.
Quite big.
It is big. It's exciting. We have lots of other cool things coming up. We've got lots of travel, conferences we're going to, things to do, places to be. So stick around.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Maybe we need like a cool outro slogan. Like we need a slogan.
If anyone can think of any.
Yeah.
If not, we can
edit it in later.
That or get ChatGPT to do it for us.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe that can be the surprise for the next episode. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. More exciting things to come. See you next time.